Hi everyone. Today we're doing the show a little differently. Because of the topic we'll be discussing today regarding Kevin Conroy and also Chadwick Boseman, there will be no intros, there will be no clips, and we actually want to start off the show with a dedicated minute to both of these fallen actors. So if you all join us in the chat, pay respect to these two legends. We will appreciate it. We will see you in a minute. So let's dedicate this to Kevin Conroy and Chadwick Boseman. Thank you everyone so much. Welcome to Endless Multiverse, episode 36. Which yeah, this was not the way we saw this coming today. Amanda B, one of your hosts, always join me as always. Shane's how reacts. I think it's redundant to ask how we're feeling because today has been a horrible, horrible, horrible day. For I would say for the entire world because this the news that we're gonna focus on first, and it's because we were gonna talk about Black Panther Wakanda Forever that just hit theaters as of yesterday in most countries, and then uh, we woke up to some very really tragic news on Twitter. And there was no way that we could do the show without focusing on Kevin Conroy before we, getting, so this will be a very emotional show. There's not going to be, like I said, no clips today. There's not going to be any intro songs. There's no Gracie, whatever. To this week, we're taking things a little more seriously, and we hope you guys will appreciate it or understand it because um, I'm not particularly in a mood in the best mood because of all this, and it's it was already gonna be this difficult discussing this movie, and now we have these two difficult topics and so on. And so hopefully next week, we will be back to having a good old show again. But these things happen, so um, we're gonna start with the tragic passing of Kevin Conroy. It was confirmed today uh, through one of his cast members from Batman animated series and through Warner's Home Entertainment that Conroy passed away yesterday at the age of 66 after a short battle with cancer. And if you have, even if you're not a big comic book fan, Batman the animated series, it has such a global following, and like Batman is one of the most famous properties of all time, and Kevin Conroy is an essential person and an essential legend in that whole legacy. So Jordan, I know this, and I you and I we both share a passion for Kevin Conroy, and for his Batman, whether it is the Batman animated series, the Batman Arkham games, the Superman Batman movies, you name it. Um, I don't even know how to start this. So like, I don't even know like what is the right question to ask. What is the there's no right way to do this. So how what are some of your fondest memories of Kevin Conroy? I guess we can start on that.
Um, uh, fondest memories. I would say what I really loved about Kevin in terms of him talking about playing this character was how passionate he was about playing Bruce Wayne and Batman, how much it meant to him. And he performed this character all these years, different iterations of the character, got to play him in live action. Um, it's just seeing how much he really cared and how great he was in terms of talking to him about the character, and he never once felt like he was tired of talking about Batman or anything. Like, there was always something to talk about with him, and he loved sharing stories about how they came up with this and what happened with this and how he got into the process of even auditioning for Batman. And like, the more I thought about it, like, it's partly due to him and his portrayal of Batman and Batman the Animated Series when I was growing up that got me to love the character. And it's partly because of his performance. And now, literally, whenever I'm reading a Batman comic, or even when I'm thinking about the character, I'm thinking about his portrayal. I'm hearing his voice when I'm reading a Batman line. I mean, I remember when I was writing like a fan script for like a Batman story that was gonna be like an animation, hopefully, thing, when I was like trying to do something like that. Every time I wrote a Batman line, I thought, how would it sound if Kevin said it? And I said this in my video today. I'm filming ahead on my weekly shows, and I was watching the Batman. So this happened 2 days ago. I was filming the season 4 premiere, which I'm a few weeks ahead, and it took me about a couple of seconds, but then I heard Kevin Conroy was voicing Dick Grayson's father in that episode. And I got so excited because it's Kevin Conroy. Oh my God. And now, like, I don't know what else he has coming out in regards of like voiceover work or anything, but like, it's crazy to think that he's gone. He's not around still doing cons, because he used to love doing events. He loved to go out there and talk to people. He loved just meeting fans. And I hate that I never got to meet him. But with the announcement that he was battling cancer, it's a silver lining that he's not having to suffer from it anymore. You know, I don't know how bad it was. We don't need to know that. That's not important, because that's personal, you know. But he seemed happy. He seemed like he was living his life to the fullest, and it's really, really unfortunate that he's not here anymore, because he still probably had a lot more to do, probably a lot more he wanted to do, you know. It's a lot. I thought it was a joke at first. I thought it was a hoax when I first saw on Twitter, because it wasn't coming from reputable places at first, not that we could verify. And then slowly, actors who actually worked with him were posting about it, and it's like, okay, there's no going back. This is not a hoax anymore. This is real. And yeah, it's a lot.
Yeah, no, what's the best way to put me for this? I mean, because I mean, this kind of like broke my whole day. So I haven't, I've just tried to distract myself, just not thinking about it, but knowing that the show was coming up tonight. Um, I mean, he was. I mean, of course, like anyone else, he was the first Batman I ever followed as a kid. Like whether it was through Batman animated series or, Batman Mask of Phantasm or Batman Beyond. That was kind of around the '90s for me. But I always remember, like, that was my entry into the Batman universe. He was, because in my head, like anytime I hear, when I read a comic book now, if I watch watch a video game or I play something or I watch an anime movie, I still just hear Kevin in my head. You know, that's not to disrespect the other actors who have come and lent their amazing voices to this DC icon, but you know, Kevin Conroy is just, you know, because at the surface, Batman could be very misinterpreted as just you know, a brooding violent character, but with Kevin Conroy's voice, and of course with all the great writing that came with his character, you know, whether it was in TV shows or movies and whatnot, it was, you know, there was more that there was more beneath the surface, and it made Batman a far more complex character than, you know, like, you know, I mean, if even sometimes live action doesn't even always succeed at, you know, like, you know, I mean, I could say that Kevin Conroy can, for example, like he could go toe to toe with, for example, Michael Keaton's Batman portrayal, for example, so on. But that's not what this discussion. But all I'm saying is that there's Kevin Conroy was one of a kind that we have never seen in, particularly in voice acting. I feel also with the way that he, you know, elevated his character in, you know, like, I mean, I started playing the Arkham games not too many weeks ago, and I just remember just like, just, you know, hearing him think and hearing him act and just reacting to stuff is just like he made the character so much more interesting. But what I always remember was, you know, like, I also never had the chance to meet him. So, but like, anytime I'd watch him on a podcast, or I would watch him at a panel or an interview or whatever it was, this was someone that had perhaps the biggest love for this character on the entire planet. You know, like, this was someone that cherished it and, like, again, never got tired of it. You know, who would go and make kids happy, and, you know, like, go, you know, do, you know, I'm vengeance, I'm the night, I am Batman, and so on. I would see him making these cameo videos and so on. And like, I found out today that my friend Rebecca, she had met him a couple years ago, and like, you know, and he is just one of the, I've always, people who have, you know, worked with him, people who have met him, they've always spoken highly of him. And you know, Jordan and we were talking about this when this happened today, that, you know, none of us knew that he was sick. Like, you know, like,
No.
you know, we saw that some people were pointing out that, like, recently he was starting to look a little whatever, but it's like, you know, but also, like, you're you know, you're getting older, you know, you look different. So for me, like, it never crossed my mind that something may have been up to him. And that's why this was even so more traumatic, because this is exactly almost what happened with Chadwick. You know, nobody knew he had colon cancer, and now, you know, and again, and we don't. Here's the thing: I'm not saying that we are owed anything. That's not what I'm saying at all. It's just that it is just, you know, sometimes I think it's very important to remember that, like, we should never assume or think that we know these celebrities or actors just because we watch them on TV and film. They are still real human beings, and just because they don't say something, that doesn't mean that something couldn't be wrong in their lives. And so, you know, I, you know, my condolences to all of his family members, to his husband, to his dear friends, all of his colleagues, you know, who, you know, had to lose someone as special as him. And, you know, I agree with Jordan. You know, like, at least he's not in pain anymore. You know, because cancer is not easy. You know,
No.
so um, you know, it, you know, like, I was just trying to think of, like, what had been some of my favorite, you know, like, Batman episodes or Batman movies with him and so on. But it's like, I don't, this might sound cheesy, but it's like, because of him, they're all my favorites. Like, I can't pick one over the other, because, like, was, you know, he was always consistently phenomenal at what he did. So for me, that there was never, like, you know, I could never say that, like, I prefer him in Justice League Doom versus Justice League Unlimited, or vice versa. Like, you know, for me, it's like, I could watch anything he does as Batman and still get a huge kick out of it. Like, you know, but especially for like as someone who's a DC kid, there isn't a lot of actors who have become so synonymous with those characters. Like for example, when it comes to Superman in animation, I don't really particularly have one definitive favorite version because I just don't have it. With them, even with the Flash, like Michael Rosenbaum, he's not my definitive Wally West, for example, because there's Keith Alonso, so whatever. So, but with Kevin Conroy as Batman, it's like in animation, he is the Batman. And it's almost like I almost don't really want to see any more animated Batman projects going forward, at least for a good while. And I know that's not going to happen, but it's you know I think and again, I will say this. This will sound weird, but one one beautiful takeaway, especially as us who are on social media, where so we all know what's happening with Twitter right now. It is not fun right now, but to see like the countless amount of love and how much of a following he had, it just goes to show that this man had an impact in millions and millions of lives all over the world. It could be from India, in China, in Germany, in Sweden. It could be in England. It could be in America, in Canada. Like this, his work has been seen all over this planet, and you know,
because he did it for so long and he did so many different projects voicing the character.
for 30 years.
Yeah, I remember like people were giving or people were like kind of criticizing his voice a little bit in Arkham Knight because the voice started to not exactly go, but there was times where it sounded like he was trying to get that voice to where we kind of used to it. But at the same time, like the way they portrayed that version of Bruce in that game, it's the last one in the Arkham trilogy in terms of like what Rocksteady was doing. Like Bruce was done. He pushed himself too far. Like I feel like that was one of his greatest performances, I think, is in Arkham Knight. Especially I retweeted the scene where he takes off the cowl and he tells Jim that Gotham is safe, and Gordon says, "Thank you, Bruce, for everything." And he says, "Goodbye, Jim." It hits so much harder. The music, just the way he performed that scene alone, it's insane. It it just it doesn't seem real. And for me, as you were saying, to me, he is the definitive Batman across all mediums, like live action, animation. I don't care. To me, he is Batman. And for the longest time, I was against any other iteration of animation Batman that wasn't Kevin Conroy. The New 52 animated films that they put a ton out, they had Jason O'Mara, I think that's his name, who voiced Batman in those movies. At first, I was against his voice because it wasn't Kevin. I grew to like it, but it's not Kevin. And I'm glad that I'm past that point now, but literally that's how much I respected and loved his portrayal because I grew up on that voice. I grew up hearing him on Batman the Animated Series, and then of course the New Adventures of Batman and Robin. I literally have the Blu-ray that came out of the whole entire thing, and this or HBO Max, I literally, it's insane that I can go back and watch these episodes again, and to hear the start of him portraying the character, and then throughout the course of the show, hear how it evolves. And then someone had pointed out in the comments that he's the one who came up with two different voices for Bruce and Batman, two distinct voices where Bruce is a little bit higher in the register, a little bit, kiddish, joyful. And then Batman, like that's truly who Bruce Wayne is Batman. And he figured that out at a time where that wasn't really a thing. And now it is a main staple thing that when you read a comic of Batman, Bruce Wayne going out and being Bruce Wayne, that's not Bruce Wayne. That's the facade. That's the mask. Who he really is Batman when he's in the Batcave, when he's out fighting crime, saving the city. That's who Bruce really is. And he figured that out. And it's a lot. because he changed a lot. He changed how we view Batman, I think. Of course, when they had the Dark Knight Returns and everything, like that comic run, that of course brought Batman to being a darker thing. But if Batman the Animated Series didn't go the route that it did, I don't think we would have Batman the way the character is seen today. And it's partly due to his portrayal and performance, because you had to believe it. Literally, you said the iconic line, "I am vengeance, I am the night." I think that was like episode 2 or something. It was so early on in the show, and that is the line that everyone remembers. And he would say that constantly when he goes to conventions, because everyone recognizes that performance. They remember that moment. So, yeah. And he took his closeted pain, because he had a lot of pain growing up as a kid. He went to a dark place in that booth when he auditioned, and that voice came out.
Yeah. I only found out a couple of years ago that he was a gay man. I don't know how open he had been about himself, but the fact that it's that it makes me feel a little closer to him. You know, and I cannot imagine what his husband is going through right now. And it's because 66 years old. Like, because the thing is that he never looked old either. So it's
No.
just it's so weird that we have lost him at such an early age. But all I can hope is which it's redundant to say, but it's like all I can hope is that he is resting in peace and he's watching all over us and seeing that that's the thing. We can revisit his work, his 30-year work, for years to come. Which whether it's on digital media or physical media, whatever, so on. He's here. He will always be with us. But it is, this was definitely not something I was expecting to wake up to today.
No.
But yeah, I mean, is there anything else you would like to say, or do we maybe want to revisit as maybe
We can talk about it more in Q&A if people want to talk about it. Yeah. We usually have a planned out thing, guys, and we did have a plan, but then just threw everything into the shit. Like, literally, we had to rework everything because, yeah. So we're going to jump into Wakanda Forever, which has a similar tone in regards to Chadwick Boseman and everything. Great image, by the way. Really good image from the film. We're going to talk spoilers, guys. So if you guys haven't seen the film yet, and if you want to hang around till Q&A, that's fine. We'll throw up the Q&A thing when we get to it. But we're going to talk Wakanda Forever spoilers. So be prepared. How do you want to do this? Just the kind of overall thoughts and then dive into some particulars? Is that how you want to just go about it?
Let's do that.
Okay. Well, I said this in my review. I said that it's a very powerful film, and that's pretty much what we've heard across the board, is that Wakanda Forever is a very powerful film that delves into a lot of things in regarding loss and coping with that loss. And without getting into specifics just yet, I feel this film handled the T'Challa part, I think, the best they could, because they could have easily, and I guess this is a minor spoiler, they could have easily showed T'Challa like not exactly like a CG Chadwick face. They could have done something to show maybe like him in the Black Panther suit, maybe the mask is on, but they didn't go that route. They literally went the route of you never actually see a body or anything of that sort. And I feel like that was the most tasteful thing they could do, because I thought I don't see them doing a CG Chadwick Boseman. I didn't expect that. And I think that would have been very distasteful, in my opinion, if they would have done that. I think they did the best. They made the best choice. Namor, I feel it was handled the best way they could handle this character without making it to the point where you can't root for this character at all moving forward. But they had to make him a villain. And I feel like they did a pretty decent job of establishing why he's a villain. And I feel like everyone's like all the performances in the film were top notch, especially Angela Bassett, of course, the Queen. Phenomenal performance from her, and then I felt that Letitia Wright did a great performance as Shuri through the pain and through the anger, especially in the third act. And I think Riri Williams is going to be a pretty popular character moving forward. I really liked how they handled Ironheart in this movie too. Um, how did you feel overall about Wakanda Forever?
I'm gonna start by saying that Phase Four has definitely been very, very disappointing.
Mm,
I think that my only film that I actually loved, genuinely loved, that I keep rewatching every now and then throughout the year is Spider-Man: No Way Home. But every other film that has come before or after that has just not lived up to what I would expect the MCU to be after the Infinity Saga. So but I knew that Wakanda Forever was going to be like this was going to be a very, very special movie. Like this would be something, I hope that that we never have to go through something like this ever again, because this was very, very painful.
yeah.
But I think this is definitely on a tide level with Spider-Man: No Way Home as a Phase 4 film goes, and definitely one of the best MCU films of all time. And because Ryan Coogler and the team, they had an impossible mission with this, because I don't I know that there's gonna be people. Some people are gonna really, really love this. This is gonna really speak to them. There's gonna be people who think that they handle this in the wrong ways possible. But again, I don't have those answers. I don't know how you could have dealt with this.
Yeah.
Um, on the subject of the T'Challa, I will say that the way that they went about him passing away, it's a very mixed bag for me,
Mm,
because it almost feels like they're not fictionalizing what happened to Chadwick with T'Challa, where for me, like, I would have always imagined that T'Challa, if he ever passed away, it would be because he would die as part of a sacrifice, not against a disease. That
mm,
they never mentioned what it was. They never said what disease it was, which kind of, to me, is a little bit of a jerk off moment. But at the same time, I can also understand that they wanted to, that they, in a way, they were also acknowledging that Chadwick and T'Challa were almost synonymous with each other. Like, it wasn't, an actor playing a character; it was one person in a lot of ways. So, um, I can understand, but I can also see the problems with it. But as far as exploring grief and the loss of someone near and dear, I think that I understand why this film took as long time to make as it did. Um, you know, it's it's interesting because we've talked a lot, we've noticed a lot in Phase 4. We started to see some of the cracks of Marvel Studios. With some of the disappointing VFX work, some of the rushed writing, a lot of the last minute retools of things. But with this, it felt like they actually got enough time and space to make this what they wanted it to be, and put it out to the public. And so yeah, I think, like, again, like, for me, I have very, very, very few issues with this film. Like, this is a film like I likely will rewatch at some point, whenever it does come out on home release or whatever. But um yeah, I like my deepest respect to the whole creative team of both in front and behind the camera, who are having, because I don't know how, if I was a filmmaker and I had to deal with this situation, I don't know how I would have dealt with it. This is, I probably would have broken down on set multiple times. So, but I guess maybe we should talk about specifics now instead.
yeah. So, okay, let's talk about spoiler. I think we'll save the mid-credit scene for last. I think that's like the big thing. I feel the death of, how do you pronounce her name? Angela Bassett's character,
Ramonda,
Ramon.
yeah.
I That's the one thing I don't agree with in this movie in regards to having her die. I don't agree with it. Now, I don't know because Ryan Coogler said that the version with Chadwick in terms of a script never got completed before Chadwick passed. So I don't know if in Wakanda Forever or whatever Black Panther 2 was going to be with Chadwick was going to be, if we were actually going to still see that, or if that was something that was always set in stone regardless of what was going to happen. I don't know if it was a story beat. I have no clue. I don't agree with it though. I understand for the Shuri character to kind of push her to the point where, because her mom pushed her to say, have you done any more research, any more work on an artificial one? And she's like, no, I haven't done that. No. Because she doesn't want to think about her brother. She doesn't want to think about any of that, right? She's like literally burying herself in work to not think about her brother's passing. So I get that. But I feel like it was too far because I don't think you had to do that. Now, she technically died not by Namor's hands, kind of, no, because she's the one who went and saved Riri in, unfortunately, water, breathing, air. So she made that choice to save her. Obviously, Riri would have died if she didn't do that. But I don't agree with the decision to kill her. I don't. Because I think they could have found another reason to have Shuri actually work and create an artificial like whatever it's called, the fruit or whatever that makes someone into a Black Panther. She could have done that without having to kill the mom. That's my opinion. But yeah.
Yeah, I agree. This is the one. This was my actually only biggest complaint about the film, that I felt that this was very unfair to not just the character and to Angela Bassett, but also extremely unfair to the audience. Because because the thing is, anyone going to see this film is probably already aware at this point, unless they live under a rock, are aware that this is a movie that's paying tribute to Chadwick. Everyone knows that he's dead. This isn't about just T'Challa dying. This is about the death of Chadwick Boseman. So you're already going into that with that in your mindset. And you're already kind of, a lot of people I know were like on edge, and they were anxious and they were wondering how they're gonna do this and so on. And then you go ahead and kill off another one of these beloved characters. That is a problem to me, because I feel that it was, if this was only for Shuri's sake. Again, here's the thing, because I know people, something that people have been praising about this film is that it had a lot of stakes. We've lost T'Challa. We put up with stakes. We don't. I feel this was another punch in the gut that I felt we didn't need. So for me, it was hurtful. That's when, because I'd already started sobbing in the first 10 minutes of the film. And then because I had I was watching with my friend, I was able to kind of like keep myself a little calm and so on, like having someone next to me. I think if I'd gone seen this alone, I would have been sobbing the whole way through. But then when they killed her off, I was destroyed, because I was like, I cannot believe they did this. I cannot believe they did this. And at first I was very sad, and then after the movie I was angry, and because I felt like it was just, again, not fair at all to do this to Wakanda as a nation, but to this family, because now Shuri has no one left. Her father is dead, T'Challa is dead, and her mother is dead. And for me, like, I really need to hear from them. What was the reasoning for wanting to go through with this? Because let's say, if this was something about like, well, Angela Bassett's contract was coming to an end, she didn't want to extend it, and she wanted to be done. Sometimes, now listen to me, Hollywood. Listen, just a thought here. I think you can write out a character, let him do something else in this giant planet of the world. It's not like we're like in one country and we only have 10 houses, 10 blocks. Maybe Ramonda could have done something like, you know what? I don't think I can stay in Wakanda because it will always remind me of T'Challa. I think I need to see the world. Maybe she could step down from the throne or something like that. This just felt very unnecessary, and I really want to hear what the reasoning was behind this. And I'm gonna bring this. I'm gonna bring this up just so that people can stop because I know y'all. Because I know I brought up these issues the most. I, despite what she's been saying, when I went to the film, I put my issues with the actress by the door, and only judged her for her acting and her performance. And some of y'all will be surprised what I have to say. So so I will put that out right away that for me, despite her opinions about the vaccine and the pandemic and so on, when I sat in my seat, those opinions of mine, they were waiting by the trash can outside the door, so I could just judge her for her acting performance and the way they wrote her character. So I'm just gonna clear the air right now so everyone knows. Um, I think we should talk about Namor. Let's talk about Namor.
Okay.
Because I think we need some smiles. I think we need to smile a little bit. And holy fuck, what an amazing character! What a performance! Because I don't. Has he been in anything animation or like anything big, prominent? Because I don't remember last if I've.
No, I don't. I don't think so. Let me actually look up to see if he has. He might have. I don't remember. All I know is that for the longest time, it was a character rights issue. Like
Yeah,
they could not use the character. Like I don't
not
know.
even an animation. Then maybe.
Yeah. So, um, let's see. In terms of more recent stuff, he appeared. He appeared in a Spider-Man episode in 1981 called "Wrath of the Submariner." In 1994, he was in an episode of Fantastic Four. The Avengers United They Stand. I believe that was a 2000s show. Yeah, that was Fantastic Four, World's Greatest Heroes, 2006 show. People tell me to watch. He was in 2 episodes, and that's it. He's hardly made. And I'm trying to figure out why. In video games, he's made a couple of appearances over the years. But I mean, in terms of like any major like things, no, not really. And it's surprising because I think it's also because the design of the character before this film was like green Speedo kind of thing, and that's it.
It's
That's
very
all.
erotic, a very erotic character.
I wouldn't say erotic. I would just say it's like, what do you do? So what I think they did the best they could with giving us. Now they said Namor. It's not Namor. They're saying Namor because of the accent and then they added a lot of depth to him. They also had it to where they had that guy like trying to like curse him and saying he's the son of Satan and all this stuff and something Namor. Like I remember like that's it. So that's because he was saying my name is, and then he said his name, but he says my enemies call me Namor. Ooh. But here's the thing. I think when they introduced him on Comic-Con, Ryan Coogler, when he introduced Namor, the Submariner, he said Namor, not Namor.
Yeah, I think they wanted to avoid giving out the spoiler because it was gonna. I think there was.
That could be it.
Yeah,
But I wonder, like, are they going to give him the Submariner subtitle? I don't think they will. Especially
no,
with
this seems so far removed at this point.
yeah, because literally he's like his origin and everything is very different. And what I think they did pretty smartly too, like the film's long, okay, and I feel like the film could have been cut down a little bit, but what I also think they did pretty smart was even though it felt kind of cliche with Shuri walking in and he just gives his life story, I also appreciated it because this is not because of this movie. It's because he's going to appear more often, establish his origin, and so that when he appears again, we don't have to go through like, oh, what's his backstory? Because as we know in Marvel films, they love to not really dive into their villains too much. They love not doing it because they want to give all their time to the heroes. So them actually giving him a backstory and a really in-depth showing the flashback, showing how his mom and the rest of like basically her family essentially all died and reborn with blue skin, and then he was born and he was a mutant. I was waiting for that. I was kidding. That would have made no sense.
Oh Christ!
Can you imagine?
I would have laughed in like an awkward way, like,
Yeah.
but if he was, because I knew he was a mutant, that he was gonna
Mhm.
be a mutant. So like, but when he said I'm a mutant, so my friend, I'm usually the guy who always has to explain the comic book side of things. So, they're usually the one they will pull like, hey Andy, is that a nod to something that is that from the comics? Like, who is that? Like, what does that mean? Like, what's that Easter egg? I'm like, shut up! I'm trying to watch the movie.
Yeah,
but
leave me alone.
but I turned to him and I was like looking at him to see if he noticed it. I'm like, he didn't pick up on that. So when we came out, the first thing I was like, hey, what you think of Namor? He's like, oh yeah, he was great. I'm like, yeah, but did you hear what he said? Like, no, did you hear what he said? What he was? No, like he said he's a mutant. He's like,
and they played it so well. Think back on how Miss Marvel handled it. I think your genetics is mutated.
no.
But they held on it, right? They like built up to that moment of mutation. But here, you literally, if you're not paying attention, it goes by so quick.
Mm-hmm.
He just says, "I'm a mutant," or
Yeah.
I was a mutant," or whatever.
And the only way he connected it to when I said, mutant as in X-Men, and he was like, oh, because the thing that did not work for him. He could not buy. The moment he saw the wings, he started laughing. I'm like, shut up.
But here's what I love about that.
They made it badass.
Yeah, literally, we saw a little bit in the later trailers, but when he is in Wakanda, just jumping around, flying around, my God, like it shows how fast this dude is. It's insane how quick he is on his feet. Literally, it's insane. But the actor did a phenomenal job. He did really good. And the thing is, too, it's so weird. Like we were like, Fox just got bought out by Disney. We're gonna get the X-Men, and literally our first two mutants officially is Miss Marvel and Namor. It's not Wolverine. You know what I'm saying? I love that it's these other characters that they're bringing mutants into the fold slowly but surely. Not the ones we expected. And now he's out there, and I feel like too, what they're pretty much setting up is that he might be on his own, because I feel that his two right people that were fighting throughout the film, they probably don't agree with his decision to kind of stand down and not continue to fight with Wakanda. I feel like that's.
Do you think there's gonna be like a Talokan civil war, maybe?
I feel like, or to the point where he is no longer king of that, because
that could be an interesting movie.
I feel, yeah, and so I feel like now we're gonna get a Namor movie. I don't know when. I'm assuming it's gonna be.
So the rights are fully back. There's nothing Universal can do anymore, right?
I would assume no. I mean, literally, unless we go the next couple of years with no Namor project and he's just appearing in other films and there's no rumor or any sort of like, because as we know, we always hear about Marvel's looking for a writer for blah, blah, blah. We always hear this stuff come out in the trades. If we don't hear anything about that, all we're seeing is he's appearing in this movie. Okay. And the Kang Dynasty, Namor's back. And then say, hypothetically, Spider-Man 5 or something, he's in that movie. But if there's no Namor project for a couple of years, then it's the whole situation.
What about because I think if they can't do a movie, I bet you they could do a TV show.
I would say they could, but unfortunately, I think it'd be budget heavy.
But Disney can do it though. Like,
that's true. But would it be worth it with the cost? I don't know. But see, I don't know, because if there could be the rights,
or no, what's it called?
I would assume that the characters,
whatever Werewolf by Night was, what is
special presentation.
Special presentation.
Cool. The thing is, if we don't hear anything where he's leading the project and his name's on it, then I would say they don't. But the thing is, I feel like it's not the Hulk situation, because with the Hulk situation, they used the character for years. They use
everywhere almost.
Like Hulk, they use the character all the time in the MCU. Pretty much, he pops up, once or twice every couple of years, so they keep using him. It's just they can't do a leading show or a leading film or whatever. With this, like, it's been so long, and I feel like
Actually,
Namor
show they can. They can do a TV show because remember,
Mm.
I don't remember if you remember this. In 2011, ABC was developing a Hulk TV show with Guillermo
Oh.
del Toro,
Mm.
and I think it's because like that's their gray area. So
Oh.
but then again,
Well,
it's like, but then Avengers came out. They're like, we're just gonna keep Mark Ruffalo in the movies. So,
yeah, exactly.
but I
I
think TV, I think they can.
maybe. I mean, the thing is too, the Hulk like appeared in all this stuff, and obviously not in his own proper project since the Incredible Hulk 2008 because of the rights. I feel Namor would have appeared earlier if they had the rights. Because I don't feel like Kevin Feige would have shoehorned and kept him offside. Because we've introduced other characters that are lower on the tier than Namor in terms of popularity. So I feel like the character was not in the rights. Triple X says Kevin Feige did say that Namor movie could happen if he's shooting well in Black Panther 2. I mean,
So,
if he said that,
but what was the other question? Hold on, I didn't see what his other.
does that mean they have Hulks? No, because that's not the same thing.
Yeah, they sold Hulk to Universal, unless they
Yeah.
have secretly paid for the rights now, and they want to surprise it, because
Yeah,
everyone keeps talking about World Hulk all the fucking time. At this point, I'm getting tired of the storyline, and I haven't even seen it.
exactly.
So, but yeah, but with them,
yeah.
go on.
It was good. It was good,
Yeah.
and they set up his origin, and all I'm gonna say is that moment in the fight. Well, two things: the fight with him and Shuri was great. When he stabbed her, I was like, "Oh shit, he's going that far." And then that moment, I don't know if this moment stood out to you, but it did for me. When she had the helmet was off, and she goes Wakanda Forever and slams, and the helmet goes back on, the fire explosion hits him. I don't know why, but that was like a powerful moment. I'm like, I shouldn't be rooting for this because she's getting revenge, but at the same time, that was fucking badass.
It was a very good fight scene. Yeah,
that was like.
Although I kind of squeal a little bit when she cut up one of his wings. I'm like, no, don't you?
Oh yeah.
The wings.
I hope it grows back. I feel like it's gonna
better grow back because listen, Namor was like sex on a stick. Okay, listen, this man is gorgeous. I cannot pronounce the actor's name, but like
Tanook or something. Yeah,
Tanook, I think. Yeah, like I mean, listen, like I mean, I will follow him. I will follow my king, my brown king. Like I'll be like
Oh yeah, that little maneuver, like that little. I don't think they actually connected the hands. They did like, kind of like Kamehameha, but it was like kind of like this, something.
Yeah.
I do want to quickly just address this before we get to the actual mid-credit scene. This was not the movie for Doctor Doom. It would have felt so jarring, especially the mid-credit sequence, to then go after credits. Like, we couldn't find the vibranium, sir. Clunk, clunk, clunk. clunk, clunk, clunk. Well, yeah, because literally, if he's wearing a full suit of armor, clunk, clunk, clunk. But you get what I'm saying? Like, if they would have had clunk, clunk, clunk.
Hold on, could you imagine? Wait, hold on.
Clunk, clunk, clunk.
Wait, I need to go off screen. Hold on.
Yeah, clunk it in. This is a long build-up, guys. Clunk it up. Yeah. Yes, clunk it up.
Clunk, 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 clunk. You didn't get my clunk, clunk, vibranium, clunk.
I mean, literally, it would have just made, because that's what they would have done. If they would have had Doctor Doom in the movie, they would have had somebody talking to him off screen, and then you hear clunk, clunk. You hear like the metal because he's walking in the frame. They would have done that. You would have heard it, then you would have seen him, and then he would have said something, like, this will be the end of their doom or some shit, right?
Oh my god! Oh, that would have been so cheesy.
But the thing is, regardless of if they, no matter what they would have done, it made no sense in this movie.
Nope, I agree.
This wasn't like, this would be different if Chadwick Boseman was alive and this was a Wakanda versus Namor situation, Namor, and like literally it was Chadwick's T'Challa versus Namor. Maybe, but like literally no, like this movie was not, let's throw in a cameo. Like that's not what
Well,
this
and
movie
that's the thing.
was.
That's like I said to my friend, like, I'm so fucking happy that we didn't have any Avengers shit or anything like that. Like, this was like, this is what I think DC does so well that we rarely see with Marvel these days. That
Yeah.
they don't let these films stand on their own. Sometimes they can still be in the same universe, but it's like, cameo, Easter egg, name drop. Like, for once, it was kind of like a quiet movie, but like, yeah, I think with Namor, like, I think there's so much good potential with him that I hope that that it won't take long until we get some announcements for it. And I want to go back to Doctor Doom thing. Is that this is why, and I hope this is a lesson to all of you. This is why I hope you learn that you cannot just go and read every fucking website online that says, we are hearing, we're dropping exclusive and so on. Doctor Doom is going to be in this movie because look how much wrong information there was out about this movie.
Yeah.
The people were saying that there's going to be multiple Black Panthers in this movie.
That would have been cool, but I don't know what story purpose that would have done. I mean, like she can make it, right? She can replicate multiples, but like what would that have accomplished? That means they're overpowered.
Oh, that's a big that would have been a big fuck you, I think, to the fans, because it's like we're losing to Chadwick, but so let's make everyone else Black Panther. Riri Williams, what a ball of sunshine! Like this queen. Like, listen, I am so ready for this TV show. Which is it
next year? I think.
Is it next summer? It's coming out, or like when is it? Because they're done.
It's fairly soon. Yeah.
Yeah. No, I haven't watched this actor before, so but like, wow, they picked like someone that I just instantly fell in love with, and she messed. No, are you fucking kidding? No, this has to be a lie. No. I refuse to believe that. Why the fuck would no? Hold on. Phase 5. This has to. Oh, I will screw literally.
I thought it was next year.
Late 2023. Oh my god, you scared. Wow. Yeah, it's scheduled for late 2023. I guess this will be like a fall winter show ish.
Let's see. There's an image. I was trying to find like someone's image of it. Oh, that's phase 4. What the hell am I doing? There it is. Yeah, fall 2023. Yeah. Also, no date, but I'm assuming based off the releases of Loki in season 2, summer 2023, the Marvels in July. I'm assuming it's probably going to be around August, September.
That sounds about right.
Because winter 23 to 2024 is Agatha, so they have to put it somewhere.
Yeah, no, but she was phenomenal. I think that she again. I've never read her comic, but I knew about how smart she is in the comics, and how much full of life she is and so on. And it was I would say the only criticism I had was that I feel like her Ironheart armor towards the end, it was a little too cute looking, if you know what I mean. Like, it looked like almost like I was watching like a red Bumblebee.
The color tone of it, yeah. But they also made a point that she's not going to continue with that. Like, that was just for this. So whatever suit because like I think there was like a set photo of her in a more mechanicalized, looked like a War Machine suit. I don't like that's the way it looked. I don't know obviously how it's going to look when the show airs, but it seems like she's probably going to go through multiple iterations of a suit. I mean, listen to the suit she built in that garage. Like, that was kind of cool. Like just finding random parts and making a suit. But I feel like she's going to go through multiple iterations and find, like, I don't feel like she's going to get Ironheart, like the suit at the end of the show. I feel like that's going to be a process because unlike Tony Stark, he had all this money to just keep buying shit to make the suit. But with her, that's not the case at all. But she's very gifted. So eventually she's going to get to the point where I think by the end of her show, at least season 1, Ironheart, she's going to have a suit that's kind of getting close to, I think, to Ironheart, I think, in terms of what we'd expect from the suit. But yeah, a little too much, like, because there's a shot like side by side from the movie and the comic of something that looks kind of similar to that suit. The color scheme is off. It's like, but but she doesn't get to keep it, so that's fine.
Yeah, no, I no, she was fun. It's weird that we don't get to see the Tony Stark connection with her. So I mean, they talk about that she was using Stark Industry tech and so
Yeah.
on. And but also I just love how Okoye and Shuri was just so shook with her, constantly being like, "Look, little girl, you did this on your own." I can't do the accent, but like, but Okoye was fucking hilarious in this movie. Like the whole fight about like, girl, I told you I put on the wrong makeup, and
That was
she
good.
and like when they were trying to convince Riri to come, he was like, I like I like her. But yeah, like also because she was like, I can be subtle. No, 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 Okoye, I love you so much, but like, no, at a college set, dressed like that,
No.
with that mannerisms, no. So yeah, that's why I'm like. But also, it was so surprising to me that I'm like that not more kids around the campus didn't recognize Princess Shuri. So I'm like, because Rhea knew instantly who she was. So I'm
Yeah.
like,
I feel like there's. I mean, that's like typical kids. They don't know shit. You know.
that is probably true.
Thank you for the super chat.
Thank you so
Thank
much.
you. As long as she doesn't have a giraffe neck suit, I don't think she will.
The what suit?
I don't know. I don't.
But yeah, but no, I love that she was, she got, they really got to portray her as smart, and kind of like, again, she was almost kind of like acting as our eyes and ears of those who have never been to Wakanda.
Yeah.
I'm talking about Wakanda as if it's a real place. It should be a real place. But she was phenomenal. Let's get to the meat of it, because I think this has been, what we've been waiting to talk about for a long time. It is that Shuri is officially the MCU's new Black Panther going forward. And again, I feel this is what we all imagined it was going to be. Um, do you like how they went about it in the film?
I think I don't agree with killing off her mom. I don't agree with it. But in terms of her seeing Killmonger when she goes in, which I think was obviously the smart choice because she already went in a bad place. It wasn't like when T'Challa took it, like he was in a much different place than she was. And so when she goes in, of course she's Killmonger. She's not going to see her brother. And even if Chadwick was alive, but they killed off his character for some reason in real life, or like he was still alive, they just killed off T'Challa for some reason. I don't think they would have showed him either in that circumstance. Maybe they would have, but the whole point was for Killmonger to kind of push her over the edge. Like literally, she was on the edge of a cliff, and Killmonger popping up instead of T'Challa, that was a sign of him pushing her off and having her fall into the deep end where literally she wants to kill Namor. And I feel like that was the whole point of that scene. It wasn't about, oh my God, Killmonger. It was actually a story purpose because him popping up, he's egging her on. Well, why'd you take it? Why'd you take it if you didn't want this? It's like, well, why are you singing me and not anybody else?
Mm-hmm.
And literally, he made like, yeah, all the other Black Panthers are weak, including your brother. And obviously, that wasn't them trying to put down Chadwick Boseman. That's like him.
Of course not.
Yeah, that was the character trying to put down T'Challa against her to try to push her to the point where she got more, because that's when the conversation shifted to where she was more angry. And then of course when she gets out, she punches that Dora Milaje the suit on like a mannequin and destroys it, obliterates it. It goes flying away. And that right there shows you her anger. And then telling M'Baku, like, nope, we're gonna kill him, and you're gonna help me do it. So yeah, I feel like now, after seeing all that, and especially with the mid-credit scene like this, like, this establishes that she's going to be in a better place, especially with her burning the clothes at the end, like her mother suggested early on. And now with her knowing the lineage and how things are going to be different, I feel like this puts her in an okay place. I still don't agree with killing the mom. It just doesn't, like, I get it, we're pushing Shuri over the edge, but you didn't have to kill her off to do that, because she was already there anyways, because literally she was burying herself in her work and not wanting to think anything about trying to do an artificial, like that thing, like no. And someone had said,
I will bring it up. I think it's called herb. Um,
I forgot
um,
what it was. Someone had said it.
heart-shaped herb.
Yeah, so like with her mom asked and she pushed it away. She's like, "No, I'm not going to do that." So she was already on edge as is. And then her mom trying to get her to like open up and to burn the clothes before Namor shows up out of nowhere, like breaking through their protective wall. Yeah, and if you I don't know if you remember this part, but like literally as I was editing and getting the audio reaction edited, there was the line, and I completely forgot about it in the movie, where she goes and turns to her before Namor shows up and the elephants start freaking out. Is when they're talking at that fire, she says, "I gotta tell you something about your brother," and then the elephants freak out because Namor is there. She was going to tell Shuri at that moment that this person's out there because she had met him, you know. Um, yeah,
Yeah, for me, I fully bought the idea of her as a new Black Panther. I think that there
yeah,
is, I will say this: if I had written this is how I would have gone about it. I would have written Ramona that she maybe was on the edge of death, and that's what pushed Shuri to get there even further. I just felt like you didn't need to kill her, Ramona just to get her to become
no,
Black Panther. But needless to say, I think it makes sense for her to be the new Black Panther. And I think, and here's the thing, I think Letitia Wright, despite her real life opinions with and so on, she gave an amazing performance in this movie. There were times where I could feel some of the actors, like where it was the actors grieving, not the characters. Like I feel like that moment at the beginning where she like falls, falls over his casket. Like it felt like it was like that wasn't just Shuri breaking down, that was Letitia breaking down, because
yeah.
we know, obviously there's no one inside that casket, but it's like,
What it symbolizes.
what it symbolizes. Yeah, so
Yeah,
I think the new suit is phenomenal.
yeah, I
And
agree.
I love the fact that she found a way. And we also, because the thing I loved with Shuri in the first movie was that they explained so well how smart she is. And but also it wasn't just like action, no action, just talk. We saw her actually, like she was experimenting, trying different possibilities and so on. That was great to see. And so I loved seeing her becoming Black Panther. And it will, and I think that it will be to see where they go in future movies. Um because I bet people were gonna. I bet some of y'all in the comments were like, "He's gonna hate her as Black Panther because of her opinions in real life." No, because I can separate actors from an artist from a person. So and the thing is, like, no matter what I think about, no matter what she and I think about the pandemic and so on, Letitia Wright was one of my favorite actors in Black Panther. Like she was one of the reasons I was I'm like, listen, let's go, let's get a Shuri spin-off franchise, let's get her a TV show, like let's go. So for me, like that's why what happened outside of her acting really upset me, because I love Shuri, and I said I love Shuri in this movie, and I think it will be interesting to see what she's gonna do with Black Panther, because the movie ends with the Black Panther will return. So
Mhm.
like maybe she will appear on. It wouldn't shock me if she's in an episode of Ironheart. Maybe, I don't know. Maybe.
Oh, yeah, I could see some people popping up from, yeah, I could do, yeah. I didn't think about that.
Yeah, I'm still curious what this whole this what this Wakanda TV show is going to be all about. Like,
I think it might be about the Dora Milaje. I think.
but what's the point now that Okoye isn't the general anymore?
Well,
Because
I
it
mean, it
is.
could be about the Dora Milaje and the Midnight Angels now.
Yeah, which is
It could be a Midnight Angels show. It could be about Okoye and what I forget her name, but the
Ayo.
new
No, wait,
yeah,
hold on.
the new
No, no.
character.
Oh, the new character. Okay, then it's not
Yeah,
Ayo, because Ayo was
the
on.
one that teamed up with her.
Let's
But I
see.
mean, it could be just about those particular characters, like the Midnight Angels and the Dora Milaje, because like I know she was stripped of her titles, but they can give that back if she wanted it back. But you know what I'm saying? Like they could.
Anika.
Yeah, they could just literally just do a show about them, like those characters.
Yeah. Although I'm you know, because so Anika is together with Io, and it's sad that again another opportunity where we could have had some LGBT, actually highlighted LGBT couple, and Disney didn't because Disney sucks. But the other thing I didn't like was I didn't agree with Ramona stripping her of her title. I'm like, you guys are like sisters. You guys are like family. Like, okay, listen, I get it. She lost Shuri on her watch, but it's like, look at what this woman has done throughout. Again, I think that argument they had between each other, it was well done, not just well acted, but well written. Because Ramona was like, she came with the receipts, like like. Who was it that stood here and said nothing when Killmonger invaded our nation? So like there were everyone made good point, but I was kind of like, whoa, this was a lot. Why the fuck was Valentina in this movie?
I don't like. Thank you for the super chat.
And she didn't like the suit. She's just like,
she kept like getting really upset with it.
Yeah, I'm not wearing that.
The
fuck is she doing in this movie, man? She did nothing. She served no purpose.
I don't know. I feel like she was in the movie because she's going to be a big player moving forward, especially in the Thunderbolts at some point. Because we know she's in line for Thunderbolts. Also, too, it's also proving how powerful she is. She literally listened in on Ross with his not authorized phone calls to Ramonda and all these people. Like it's basically just setting her up to be a powerful player in the MCU in terms of what she's capable of doing, because literally she had this all planned out at the beginning before Ross even showed up. She already knew, and like it's weird that they were married at one point, but whatever.
Oh my god, I could not stop laughing at that. I was like, this is their way of trying to make Ross more relevant in the MCU. Are they actually married in? Because I don't know if Everett is from. Let's see, Ross. He is from the comics.
Yeah, I don't know. All I know is it felt kind of strange, but I don't know. I feel like it's just to set her character up even more. And like I would have said that because there was in my review I thought people were talking about Riri Williams being in the film, because some people reviewed the movie saying that before it came out that there was a character in the film that doesn't make sense, and I thought they were talking about Riri Williams, but they're actually talking about Valentina. I just didn't connect it because I thought Valentina's appearance in the film brief. Yet it kind of made sense. Like she's a pretty powerful character now, and her ranking and her connection to Ross and everything, they made
but if you remove her, it doesn't change the story whatsoever. And I feel like,
and I get that.
I'm going to say something pretty offensive. It's not too offensive, but like I'm sure some people will take upset with it. So wait, because I'm protecting you, I'm gonna do this for a second. The only reason Ross and Valentina were in the movie was because because Disney needed to have at least one or two white people, so they didn't feel bad about themselves. Oh my god, Anna, you're so woke. Again, I don't understand why she was here. We didn't need them.
I don't know.
We didn't need them. It's like they were so unnecessary because you were talking about the film was, how long was this movie?
2 hours and 40 minutes.
Yeah, you cut out their bullshit. We would have saved at least 20 more. We would have saved 20 minutes at least. I think Valentina is definitely going to be a power play, like you're saying.
Yeah.
But she didn't need to be specifically in this one.
And that's fine. All I'm going to say is I feel like in terms of how they established the story, Ross needed to be in the film because he's connected to the government, and he was alerted that they're going to take action against Wakanda because they believe they're the ones that went in and destroyed the device in the ocean. Of course, it was not them. It was Namor. But you had to have that connection, because literally, if it wasn't him trying to stop all this stuff from happening, or at least having communication to figure out what's going on, then I think the story would have went very differently if he was not involved in terms of getting them the information, or at least the back and forth. Because also too, they went to Ross, since he works for the government, to figure out who built the machine. And I get it. We could have had any other way to do that. I understand, but they established him in Civil War. He was there, interacted with T'Challa. Then he's in Black Panther. So it's not like they created some random character who's in the government to then go talk to. Like, they brought a character who's, So, but I get your point about Valentina, but literally it is establishing her, because right now she appeared in Falcon Winter Soldier. How many people saw that show? People did, but not everybody who watches the MCU. Who stayed till after the after credits of Black Widow to see her pop up and talk to Yelena for a couple seconds? Not everybody.
She wasn't Black Widow.
Yeah, so literally, this character is going to play a major role in Phase 5, especially in Thunderbolts, leading up to that film. And so for her to be his boss, it's not that far of a stretch. But I get what you're saying. There's a lot of characters in this movie. No, he was not in this movie. Thank you for the super chats, Scott. Thank you. Valentina was to be the placeholder for Thunderbolt Ross. Like, I bet Thunderbolt Ross would have been in this movie if the actor didn't pass away. I mean, yeah, it's true. Like literally, she had those beads bugged. So yes. But I would have guaranteed you if Thunderbolt Ross, if William Hurt was alive, I think he would have been in this movie. When I say real world, I mean Earthside of the MCU. No, it's okay. Like, because literally, she does have connections. We've seen her jumping around, talking to Elena, talking to fake Cap for Falcon and Winter Soldier, giving him his new suit. Thank you for the super chat. I still say she's either Monica of AIM or Lucia Von Bar. No, I think she literally is Valentina. Yeah.
Also, we haven't touched upon AIM since like Iron Man 3, like, because I thought AIM honestly was going to be something that either Shield was going to pull a lot of, which I mean, again, they didn't. But like, I think that this is who she is.
We do have a Lucas Green. Thank you, Lucas, for the super chat. We will get to that when we get to Q&A, because it is off topic, but we will get to it.
I want to go back to Namor for a second, because they did reimagine him a lot, and I like this actually, because because we already have Aquaman, we already have Atlantis, so I like that it's its own culture now. I kept wondering what the whole blue thing was about. Like, every time they came out of water, their skin turned blue. Like, did they ever explain that?
No, I mean they just explained that he looks different than them. That's all I think, because he was born after the change, and I think the blue just signifies that they need to be in water. I don't know. I'm not sure what the significance of that was.
What if that is the origin story of the Smurfs? If you throw a Smurf in the water,
it's MCU's version of Avatar. That's what it is.
Yeah, this is what I'm so annoyed with. Is the fact that this movie comes out 1 month before Avatar is coming out, and there's gonna be those idiots out there gonna be like, "Oh my god, did they steal from each other?"
And this is coming from somebody who has not seen the first Avatar film. Let's be honest, what movie's gonna make more of an impact in terms of story? Not Avatar. I'm sorry. I saw that trailer last night for Black Panther, and that trailer did nothing. Even though I haven't seen the first film, literally it's just a bunch of like just CG shots of these tall blue people. I don't care. And there's no fucking story. Don't bring your war here. Like, okay, there's one blue guy talking to the blue guy. Don't bring your war here. What are you talking about? And there's a bunch of shots of them like looking at each other, and I hear the heartbeat. I don't know what you're talking about. It's a terrible trailer. It was stupid. I'm sorry. Because like, even if I haven't seen the first film, at least your trailer has to do something. Because I've seen all 3 John Wick films. John Wick 4 dropped a trailer this week. I saw that trailer, and even if I didn't see John Wick 1 through 3, that trailer was still pretty damn cool. And I was like, oh, that looks cool. Avatar, yeah, it looks great. Cool. I don't give a shit. I don't care. Oh, God. I mean, no, I don't know.
How would that even work? Because Kree they're not half anything. They're Kree. Because these were human beings.
Yeah.
That were just,
And if he's really pissed off about blue people, he should have gotten his Avatar 2 movie out years ago because he took for fucking ever. I'm never gonna watch that movie. Like at one point, I'm like, I'm gonna watch Avatar. Now I'm like, why do I need to watch this? Like, it's not worth my time, especially with the movie being 3 hours, and you can't put out a trailer that tells me a story.
Yeah, I mean, listen, this movie. I mean, listen, I think Avatar is pretty pretentious, so
Yeah.
I don't care. Let's see, what else do we need to talk about? We talked about let's talk about some of the supporting characters a little bit. M'Baku, I love him so much. M'Baku forever. I wish we had more Nakia in the film.
I understand why she wasn't though.
Yeah, I understand why, but I wish we had more of her.
Yeah.
Okoye, I felt she was again. I think we really got into the humanity of her.
Yeah.
Now there was a character in this movie that I was like, where have I seen this woman before? So there was a Dr. Graham scientist character. So I looked it up, and it's Lake Bell, and she's the one who does the voice for Black Widow in What If.
You mean the girl in the ship or whatever in the helicopter that got crashed?
Yeah.
I didn't even because it's like the Lake Bell's and you're like who? And then I saw it saying I'm like I recognize the guy over her because that guy was in Law and Order SVU. Like that's the guy I recognize.
Who was the guy?
An older guy with the white hair. Like you don't see his hair though, but like he was like with her and then he gets like stabbed or whatever.
I know Richard. Also, like when Ramona was talking to the UN and so on, Richard Schiff from Man of Steel was in it. I'm like, what are all these people doing here? Also, I didn't know. I didn't know until this movie that Trevor Noah is in the MCU. He is Griet. He is the voice of Griet. I'm like,
I didn't know that too until I was making the text for my audio reaction. I was looking up, make sure character names are correct and everything, and literally I'm like, oh, like he's in this movie? Like where? Like I didn't see him. Like oh, he's the voice. Gotcha.
Well, let's talk about the mid-credit scene.
The boy.
Ew, what? Why do you say it like that? The boy.
God of War. If you know the God of War 2 new games, literally.
I don't have. Do you think I have time to play that? I haven't.
That's how Kratos announced. That's how Kratos talks to his son. Boy.
That was so beautiful.
I didn't expect him to be 6. I think he was like 5 or 6. Yeah, because like the time period. Yeah, like I expected a baby. Or like you're like 1-year-old
because of the snap.
Yeah, because here they never said if she was snapped though. I thought she was because I thought
I don't think she. But that's the thing. He was snapped. T'Challa was snapped.
But they never said anything about her. What I'm saying is, when the movie was going on, and she was away and she's everything, and I'm like she left because they made a point. When Thanos attacked, you just up and left. I'm thinking, why did she leave? I'm thinking, did T'Challa send her away because she was pregnant? And that's when the kid walked out. I'm thinking she was snapped away like T'Challa was. And so by the time you get to the point where Shuri's in her backyard, the kid's like 1. The kid's a baby. But no, he was never snapped. She was never snapped. He sent her away because we got to protect Prince T'Challa. It was phenomenal. Like I couldn't believe that they actually did it because that was a rumor that they were going to introduce T'Challa's son. I'm thinking, as we go along, I'm thinking they could. We don't need it, but the fact that they have it.
Is he from the comics?
I think so, but I think I really liked the kid actor they got, even though I don't think he understood the significance because I think he's too young of what his character means. The kid is 6, yeah, but he was 8 years old. That timeline went 8. Well, regardless of the kid's age. The thing is, like, that kid played it so well. Like, he's like, you can keep a secret, right? She's like, yeah, I can keep a secret. He's like, well, I'm Prince T'Challa, son of King T'Challa. I'm like, he has his father's name.
Yeah.
The thing is, though, he's too young. He'll like by the time he gets old enough to be even Black Panther, potentially, the MCU is going to be rebooted. I don't know. I feel like it's the kids. Like, we'll probably see the kid pop up.
Maybe he travels from the future.
We do have Kang. Kang's in the mix. The multiverse is in play until end of Phase 6, so potentially.
Yeah, I thought that was very sweet, and I think it's like this is your auntie Shuri, and I'm like,
Yeah.
yeah, I don't really have a lot of issues with this movie. I really don't. I am, besides the death of Ramonda, I thought, and again, Killmonger's cameo, that was
It was good.
it was good. It was very good. Um, let's give our scores.
Okay.
Um,
Out of 10,
yeah. You can start.
I will say overall, I think it's a 9 out of 10. I think that it did a lot of things right. It would have been higher if they would not have killed the queen off. Because especially Angela's performance, I feel like she really gave that performance like as strong as she did because the character warranted it, but also because she wasn't gonna be playing the character anymore.
She better be getting a damn Oscar for that. Like, this is the time where I'm like,
Yeah.
I will fight those old people at the Academy Award and be like, you better give this queen at least a nomination because that
Wow.
she listen, like the kids say, she ate, ladies and gentlemen.
To point, if they do pull from the future, they could have a new T'Challa, just not King T'Challa.
T'Challa, yeah, it's T'Challa Jr. Yeah, like they
Yeah.
didn't recast. They
Yeah,
didn't
I'm saying
recast
is if they pull
T'Challa.
from the future, let's say they go like they
Triple
like something.
X, no. Triple X, no. They didn't recast T'Challa.
No, they didn't. No, what they did was they basically established, because we were dealing with multiverse, that somewhere out in the multiverse, T'Challa's son is older, and if there's an incursion, they can bring T'Challa Jr., Prince T'Challa, his son, into the mix. So we could have realistically 2 Black Panthers, one from our Earth and one from the multiverse, so that we don't have to recast Chadwick's role. We're literally bringing forth his son.
In the comics, T'Challa has a son with Storm named Azari. Yeah, well, I mean, because in this, I mean, obviously in this timeline, he never met Storm, so
And by the time Storm comes around, that's still years away. So, but yeah, 9 out of 10 for me.
Yeah.
What about you?
I would say I would give this a 9.5 out of 10. I think the wrong, yeah, for me, it's like the 9.5 is, it would have gotten a 10 for me if it had benefited that of Ramonda.
Mhm.
But other than that, it's like the score is phenomenal, the action is great, the themes to explore throughout this movie is wonderful. The progression of these established characters, the development of these newer characters, absolutely phenomenal. And I cannot wait to see what, because we're likely gonna get a third one, and but probably not until maybe Phase 8 or something.
I would say Phase 7.
It depends because it depends on what if Ryan Coogler is attached. I wouldn't be surprised if he waits a little.
Yeah, he probably should wait. Yeah, I mean, I would.
Yeah, but with that said, let's get to Q&A. So if you guys have questions or thoughts on not this week. No, I because I'm drained emotionally. So if you have questions, let's start sending in. Let's get to our super chat from Lucas Green. If you're from the UK, you're up pretty late, son. Thank you so much for your super chat.
Thank you.
Kevin Conroy, to many of us, he was our Batman. DCAU, DC Anime Universe, Arkham games, several animated films and projects. In one way or the other, Kevin Conroy, he is the Batman. He is the Vengeance. He is the Knight. He is Batman. And another super from Lucas. Another topic. Glad you like my Lego custom of you, and I'm not sure if you've seen it yet, but the completion of Vilgax saving the Omnitrix is up for you and fans.
Oh yes, yeah. I was actually going to share in the chat that video. I'm actually going to share it out wide this weekend for people to see. But that is the Lego. He made 2 versions of me. The thumbnail image before with the beanie and everything, and then he made one with me from the channel. He made 2 versions of me Lego. Yeah, and then he did a compilation of, because it's been the ongoing joke now, especially with the Ben 10 live stream I did Monday, that it was Vilgax, the main villain of Ben 10, whenever he mentions the watch that Ben wears where he become all the aliens, the Omnitrix, he doesn't go, I need to get the Omnitrix. I need to get the Omnitrix. Like he gets so like invested in saying that word Omnitrix. So like that was so this guy literally made a compilation of every single time Phil Gex says that. Just the Omnitrix. No, Miata, there's no theme song. I was told there's no theme song this week. So
this week I'm putting down my foot.
If you're gonna if you want blame Andy for no theme song this week, let's see here. A lot of people commenting tonight.
I mean, I think everyone. Thank you so much. I think everyone was aware this was going to be a very, very special show.
This episode was already planned to not be that happy, but then this happened this morning. Yeah. I had this stuff pulled out too because I wanted to show. Like I've been, of course, reading books now more, and they made a couple of these, and I don't know if you've heard of this, but they did Batman the Animated Series like novels. Just strapping Andrew, of course.
See, do you want to come on? See, do you want to come on for a quick second? Share us up a little. I think we could use some laughs. Wait, what is that? Get closer. Bring it closer. I can't see it.
Duel to the Death.
When did that get published?
1994.
Damn.
And then there's a couple more. And then I also wanted to show this. Oh,
thank you so much for the super chat.
I finally got the animated series pop.
Would you dare ever open it?
Like, no, this is in its protective case.
Oh yeah, you better, because I will fly over there and beat your ass if you ever did.
It's beautiful. I love it. I love it to death.
Okay, no worries, CG, no worries.
What do you say?
He said, nah, like I told you, limiting my on-screen time till my next billing cycle to see how much I'm using.
In terms of like
data.
Gotcha. Look, I didn't know that. I didn't know you're limiting your screen time. So get out of the bayou. Figure it out.
But in terms of that's a good question. What are some of the Oh, we haven't had one shot. Like, okay, so we got to remember, special presentation and one shots, they're two different things. But one shot, I miss those one shots. They were always so much fun, kind of adding a little bit of more meat to the MCU, kind of like in different corners. I like what Scout about is saying, a one shot to reintroduce Quake to the MCU. Yeah, I think that would be great. Like, what has Daisy been up to this whole time?
That'd be something they should definitely explore.
What I would like to see, like, if we're talking about special presentations, I mean, I do think like a Namor special. If we can't have a movie, then you do it as a special. I mean, technically it would still be a movie, but whatever. I would love.
It's so stupid, but I would love Deadpool to have a special presentation of him watching the MCU, trying to catch up with everything that's going on.
Yeah, almost kind of like a Deadpool 2.5 before Deadpool 3.
Yeah, not even an hour. Just make it like 15, 20 minutes. Just have Ryan Reynolds on the day. Why would you
let it be at 1 hour? You know how hilarious it would be?
In case he's busy. Ryan's constantly busy. What I'm saying is, you just do a quick little thing and literally go. The special presentation for Guardians Holiday is like 45 minutes. So they're not going to be consistent.
45 minutes.
Even at 45 minutes, but like just shoot for a couple days or whatever. Just Ryan just watching the MCU from the beginning. He's
like, oh, hi there.
Yeah,
it's me, Deadpool.
Nova.
There's no stop.
I feel like Nova should be like a series, like an actual series.
That's what I think they are doing, but there's now rumors. Again, it's clickbait stuff out there. Bai doesn't even have internet. I get all these either by Carrier Pigeon.
Oh my god. I mean, yeah, is that called Spirited or something? Spirited?
Maybe.
With Will Ferrell? I think that's what it is.
Will Ferrell. Sorry, you cry a lot throughout the day. Like, you get tired eventually.
I don't know why. I've been just tired today. I don't know why.
It's been a long week in general.
Thank you, Jake. Okay. Well, thank you, Jake. I'm glad you're here. But yeah, it was Yeah, that video was hard to film. Like I literally was just trying to process it, and I filmed it at the time where I kind of verified that it was true, but I'm thinking like I'm hoping it's not. But at that point, I mean, that's
Isn't no one coming out in phase 7 or 8? We don't
I wouldn't be
know.
surprised if it's in phase 6. We don't know the full slate.
Well, they would have to get started. They would have to start shooting, I guess, either late next year or 2024 in order
Yeah.
to.
Like Connor brought this up a little later in the chat. I forgot to bring this up. So, yeah, I heard about James' intentions to do DC films, animation, video games, DC TV shows all combined as one big cohesive thing. I'm here to let you know, James, that ain't going to happen. You want to know why? Because video games, you cannot predict and handle video game releases. That is the one thing for sure you cannot have any control over. Perfect example, Suicide Squad Kills the Justice League was delayed to another year, was pushed off. So, and it's impossible. Now, in terms of if he wants to like building a cohesive thing with DC films, sure, because that's more feasible. But in terms of animation, live action films, TV shows, and video games, no.
I don't think you're getting it with video games necessarily, but I think you can definitely like I think everything else. I think animation that you can do something like What If for DC that is tied to that DCU, whatever, and so on. That could also be another way for the Arrowverse to, like if they ever want to do like a special episode, like let's say if there's like a Elseworlds animated show, you do it in a cartoon where like on an Earth where maybe Oliver never did marry Felicity.
Please God. And the thing, it's kind of exactly right. We don't know. We know the beginning and the ending of Phase 6. We don't know anything else, and there's still a ton of projects up there. If you look at the slate, Fantastic Four to Secret Wars, Kang Dynasty, like there's a lot of stuff there. But see, that's not like that's all fine. But then there's also issues too where the video games and stuff, and they retcon some things at times. But also too,
I gotta run to the bathroom real quick. I will be right back.
Okay.
Sorry.
No, but the thing is that the difference is that they're not trying to build this big cinematic thing that James Gunn's trying to do. Because I feel like James Gunn's trying to do like one interconnective story. Because like with Star Wars, that's one thing. Because they have a continuity they've been established for all this time, for a lot of years. But DC does not have that. DC has all this multiverse stuff in the mix. You say, well, Star Wars got Legends and they have Elseworld stuff. Yes, but like Star Wars has been consistently doing stuff that's interconnected for this long. DC doesn't have that. And the thing is that unlike Star Wars, DC has so many different iterations of stories that are being constantly told in the comics and constantly being told in animation form or something to that effect. If you look at what Star Wars has done since the buyout from Disney, every single thing that's been made in terms of comics, books, TV, film are all part of a continuity. DC has never done that, and they never could do that. It's too much because they continue to come up with new issues and new stories in DC Comics that just kind of retcons and changes shit all the damn time. So you're asking, you're asking for them to now start just one cohesive thing across all mediums. It isn't going to work because that's not how DC should operate, because that's basically limiting their stories. And you can say, well, you're saying Star Wars limiting their stories. There's a certain time periods that they can't touch. There's certain things they can't do with characters, so they have to come up with new characters. With DC Comics, they have a pantheon of characters that have to be used. But if you start interconnecting with animation, TV, live action films, video games, then you're basically saying, okay, when you see this Green Lantern, it's the same one across the whole board. Like, that is not going to work with DC. Star Wars can do that because you have Luke Skywalker, and canon, it's all interconnected. With DC, they're constantly changing shit in the comics. You can't expect DC to do live action films, live action TV shows, animation, video games to have the consistency of just one Batman for everything, one Superman for everything. It's not going to work. It's going to be too constrained
Are
in
we
terms
still on this?
of storytelling. Yes, because like Star Wars connects, like Star Wars does all this, so DC can do it. No, it's two separate things. DC has never made one continuity, and everything else before at a certain point, all the stuff over here is Elseworlds. DC comes out with new comics all the damn time, and they're constantly changing shit. Like
Yeah.
recently, they had a new Batman,
Yeah.
and
Okay.
Bruce Wayne's not Batman anymore. It's like in this future state, they have this new Batman. Well, are you saying that now, if they wanted to get rid of Bruce Wayne, let's say in the films, and they have this future state Batman, that means that every single time Batman pops up in a video game or a live action TV show or animation form, it's this version because it's all interconnected? No, it's stupid. It's stupid. It won't work. Anyways,
You feel better?
yes, because it's just stupid.
Well, I get it. I get it. No, I mean, I think for me, like what the way I look at it is, the way I look at it is that I think that you could for DC, I think you could easily, with what James Gunn is doing and so on at this point, like yeah, they can have they can. I think they can have TV shows, movies, and animated stuff be connected. Um, um, uh But like, yeah, I still think that we should still have like these Elseworlds things still happen, and like not just have it rooted just like in one continuity, because because I think that's what I think why Star Wars has struggled a little bit, over the years throughout the film, is because like, we can't see any other incarnations of Leia or Luke or Han Solo and so on. Like, because imagine like if they did reboot Star Wars at some point, people would lose their motherfucking shit. But with DC, it's like, yeah, we can have it. We can have Henry Cavill Superman. We could see Val Zod on the HBO Max show. We can see, like, for example, with the whole, like, for example, I've always made the case that, they should do Nubia, the Black Wonder Woman, for example, in the Arrowverse or on television, while we have Gal Gadot as Diana Prince in the movies. Um, I think we should be able to have that. But yeah, video games, that is very tricky to connect. And if anything, I would love if they started making more video games that are like tied to like that. Like, remember back in those days when they do like the Sam Raimi Spider-Man video games, like that was more connected to the movies than anything. I kind of wish we could go back to that era a little bit more. So,
Well, I think the reason why they stopped is because those games were not received well.
yeah.
So I mean, and it's just the whole thing. I just feel like the whole idea of James Gunn trying to do an interconnectivity with films, TV shows, and animation, I just feel like good luck. It's not going to work. I'm sorry. It just because like literally.
But if the MCU's made it work, why couldn't he make it work for DC?
DC, but the thing is, it's not like DC hasn't been doing this, and things Marvel doesn't do this with animation though. Like, What If is like a multiverse thing, but that was their first time attempting it. But for the longest time, it was just the films, and they're expanding. But the thing is, DC has always been different than Marvel. Basically what you're asking DC to copy Marvel. That's basically what you're like. That's basically you're trying to say DC needs to go like what Marvel's doing, just have everything one interconnectivity. And the thing is, DC has always tried to be different. They've always tried new things, and to sit there and for them like, because what works for Marvel doesn't have to work for anything else. Like it's all separate stuff.
But I feel that's what everyone is. This is what everyone is always arguing about: is that they feel that DC doesn't have a cohesiveness, and I think that's what James is trying. And also, we need to also start remembering that there's two dudes. Everyone in the chat, there's two guys running this. Like, not everything is going to be a James Gunn decision. There's also be Peter Safran. So, I mean, here's the thing, because I think what DC can do that they don't have to do that Marvel already is that I think that definitely like flesh out and have like, let's have a consistent universe, but we don't have to have like Marvel DC's version of Infinity Stones like brings all these things
Yeah.
together. So like for example, like I think Blue Beetle, this I don't expect Blue Beetle to have a lot of like references and connections
No.
to like other movies. And I think that's okay. Like it can be in DCU, but we don't need to hear about like, well, did you hear what Black Adam did 2 years ago in Conda? Oh my god, did you know in 2017 Superman had a fake mustache? It looks CGI. Like we don't have to like have those instinct. That's why I think Black Panther 2 was so great because there wasn't like like look how connected we are, look how connected we are, Easter egg, Easter egg, Easter egg, no, name
Well,
no, cameo.
it's not that. I'm saying like DC can have a cohesive thing with live action and like live action films and TV. That's fine if they want to have because Peacemaker's interconnected with the DCEU. It's interconnected, and whatever Viola Davis, Amanda Waller show will be interconnected. But what
Yeah.
I'm saying is throwing animation into the mix. Like if you want to do an animated series, cool. But it sounds like if we're going to try everything under one roof, it's like, no, you don't need that. You don't. Because like now you're saying Batman the Cape Crusader, that's going to be under, even though it's not like it's going to,
Well,
if you say,
I don't think that's what James Gunn is saying. Though. I think, and that's
well,
what
that's what I'm
I
like,
think fans
that,
are misconstruing what he's
that's the
saying.
problem too. We don't know the plan. Like literally they asked him on his Mastodon account, which I don't know what that is, but they asked him and
How
he
do you
said
say
that
it?
Mastodon or whatever, I don't know. But like literally someone asked about the plan. He's like, we just got here. Give us time. And the thing is, that will shut people up once they give us like a slate in terms of what the plan is, because then they can go, okay, this is the film, this is a TV show, live action, and we're going to do this animated, right? That's fine as long as they don't take everything that they could be doing an animation and it has to be under this umbrella in terms of they cannot do anything creative. They have to stick with our universe. As long as they don't do that, I have no issue with them doing interconnected shit with live action movies, TV, and animated stuff. I don't have an issue with it. But as long as they don't literally make it to where everything has to be under one roof. And I know that that's not going to happen because the Reeves stuff is not connected to any of this shit. Like anything Matt Reeves does from Penguin, Batman 1 and 2, Batman 3, whatever other shows they're going to do is not connected to the umbrella that they're going to try to start planning out with in terms of anything interconnected to the DCU. We know that. So it is partly due to people freaking out, hearing James say, we're going to have trying to animate, we're going to, like, everyth's connected. Like, it doesn't, like, that's not what they're saying. But that's why I get irritated. It's because people assume that. And it's like, it just won't work.
No,
Yeah.
Well, anything. I'll say this. I think we should be open to that. Anything could work until we see it. Like I don't think we should close our minds that something couldn't work until we see it. But I do agree with you that people should take. Like, here's the thing. This is the problem with the internet. Is that this is why I feel like sometimes people should not be tweeting these kind, like especially people that are in big. I think this is probably why Kevin Feige never tweets, because he knows that people are going to do. That's what people are doing in the chat right now of just misconstruing, misunderstanding, and doing whatever. make a plan, execute the plan, expect the plan to go off the rails, throw away the plan.
Basically.
Oh, I love Let Us Start so much. But yeah, it's like it's just this. We need to like start waiting and see what they're actually gonna do, and not start to think like because and I don't say this to be disrespectful to you guys, but here's the thing: a lot of you guys in the chat, a lot of people on the internet are not. They're on the other side of the spectrum of like you guys are the consumers, you guys are the fans that nothing the way that you guys think some things work sometimes in the industry, it's not that simple. And I don't think like even like when taking something what Shane Gunn is saying and then completely like this is what it means, it is dangerous.
Yeah.
And I think we need to, let's just move on. It's gonna be. I cannot wait to that episode of Ms. Multiverse when we talk about the pilot, and like, is because we had some casting news this week, and I'm like, and one of them is like actually from the comics, and I'm like, are they actually gonna rip off the video game? So they one
Wait,
of the
what casting?
Okay, so okay, hold on. Stay with me. We're gonna Chainsaw reacts to casting. Oh,
Oh shit.
this could be a fun clip even. Um, okay. Chainsaw reacts and Andy reacts to casting news for Gotham Knights season 1.
The
Wakanda
only
Forever
season.
limited event series.
Limited series.
You know
Fuck.
what it's gonna do. So yeah, you guys get a little news discussion from us. Okay, Gotham Knights, Lawrence Stamil and Damon
She looks
Dayu
familiar. Okay.
join CW series is
Oh
recurring.
boy, who are they playing?
Lauren and Damon are set for heavily recurring roles in Gotham Knights, the CW's DC Comics based series slated for a mid-season premiere. We know what the synopsis is about. They will be playing Lincoln and Rebecca Mars, parents of Brody Mars, played by Rahart Adams, who is a series regular. Lincoln Mars is a charismatic, self-made industrialist. Always have to be that. With designs on becoming Gotham's next mayor. The only most important thing to Lincoln than his legacy is the power that he wields as one of the city's elite. Old money, elegant, Rebecca plays the dutiful good wife to her business mogul husband, a caring and supportive mother, one who would never know she's trapped in an unhappy marriage. Now, here's the thing, ladies and gentlemen. When you search for Lincoln Mars, we get to DC Wikipedia. Lincoln Mars is the alias used by a mayoral candidate in Gotham City who believes himself to be the younger brother of Bruce Wayne, Thomas Wayne Jr., affiliated with the Court of Owls.
God damn it. Fuck.
Mars was a candidate for Gotham mayor and supporter of Bruce Wayne's vision of a new revitalized Gotham. Lincoln Mars was also the COO of Mars Ventures, a underworld Leslie Tompkins satellite clinic on the east side of Gotham City.
What pops up with her? Is she a character too, or is it just him?
She's not from the comics as far as I know. I can let me see if I search for Rebecca Mars. I don't want to print this.
Yeah, print her name. Nothing.
Just a word.
Nothing. No.
No, they cast surprising Batman villain. While Wayne and Mars had a business discussion at the top of Wayne Tower, an assassin calls of the Talon attacked both philanthropists, sticking a throwing knife into Mars and then kicking Wayne out the window. Wait a minute.
Dude. Okay, it's spoiled. He kills Bruce. Guys, it is now proven via a fucking Wikipedia that Talon here kills fucking Bruce Wayne at Gotham Knights. It is confirmed. Guys, this thing just spoils the fuck out of Gotham Knights. Oh my god. It's fucking true. They just fucking... If this is what they're going to be doing... Dude, that's exactly what they're doing. Oh my god. Talon, fucking goddamn it, this fucking... Oh my god, this is hilarious. Oh my god. Dude, look, dude. Dude, look, this is exactly like... I was just saying when you left, I was saying they literally just they just broke the show. This literally just spoils the Bruce Wayne's death. This spoils it. We know who killed him now.
We need to keep reading. The Talon had both out and then kicking Wayne out of the window. Both the managers by the attack, and Wayne, who had his butler patch up his wounds for him, visited Martin in the hospital, who warned Bruce not to discount the fabled Court of Owls, just because he had never seen him before, as the greatest danger can sometimes be under one feet when one believes that.
No, the woman is not Talon. He's going to be Talon. And
okay, let's for a legal disclaimer. because I don't know.
We don't know. We don't, guys.
We don't know if this is what actually doing,
It's
but
not. But
because the CW, it would not. It would
watch.
drive me absolutely insane if this is what they're actually doing.
But watch that it's his wife that we don't know who she is. She's the Talon. It doesn't matter. This thing just spoils. Because guess what? In the show Gotham Knights, in that trailer, they show Bruce Wayne laying on the ground with a crappy, shitty Party City Batman mask on. And it's implied he was pushed out of a window or he was pushed off a building or something because he's laying on the ground and blood splatter. He was pushed out of a window, pushed off a building by somebody he trusts, because why would he go on a rooftop with somebody unless it's somebody he knows, which is this Lincoln dude
who thinks that he is the younger brother. However, Mars was not the innocent civilian that Batman had been led to believe. His death was all a ruse, being negated by the Corps' own electron connectation that they created to keep their silent army alive through the years. Originally, Mars was a puppet for the Corps, meant to distract Bruce Wayne long enough for their Talon to easily kill him. When Bruce defeated the Talon, Mars knew he wasn't the only one keeping secret in their new friendship. Bruce Wayne was the Batman. After having been killed by the Talon and revived, Mars had realized the Corps had betrayed him. In turn, while the leaders of the Corps were in the middle of a secret meeting, Mars returned fire by secretly poisoning their drinks. Soon after, he met with Arthur Brown, who is Stephanie Brown's father, who had been tracking the Corps out for 2 years through various clues, and agreed to find and provide a reason for his plot to destroy Batman with the use of his own minor villains. At the Willowwood Orphanage, Lincoln Mars, donning a modernized Talon suit, met face to face with Batman. Mars revealed to Victor how he had defied death right in front of him and his former participant in the Corps of Owls. After his story, Mars asked Batman if he had guessed who he really was. He glowed that his real name is Thomas Wayne Jr. and he is Bruce Wayne's younger brother. Batman refused to believe this was true, despite Lincoln's story of how he had grown up being visited by Martha Wayne and was then groomed by the Corps of Owls to take Bruce's place. The two men fought, causing so much damage that the building they were in exploded. Batman managed to escape, though his opponent's regenerative capabilities meant they could never be sure if Lincoln Mars would return. Bruce would never be truly certain whether Lincoln Mars was telling the truth about his parentage without a DNA test, but many of the facts of his story could fit around the official paperwork, on the condition that Martha and Thomas Wayne had lied. Da, 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 da.
Yeah, I don't care.
You're so.
I don't care because I just, this thing just spoiled it. It just spoiled. We now we know who kills Bruce Wayne. Why else would they have these characters? Because as soon as you read on the report or whatever that they're in the show, as soon as you read the report of, well, he's going for mayor, and then she's the wife of the, I don't care. There's only one reason why they're in the show.
Now here's the thing.
Because one of them kills Bruce.
There's a statement from the showrunners and the executive producers. We're absolutely thrilled to add Laura and Damon to our already stellar cast. It is very fitting for their characters in particular to join our world of Gotham. And while fans of the comics may recognize Lincoln's name, they should expect some twists in the stories to come.
His wife is Talon. That's the twist. I like this right here. This makes a lot of sense.
It was actually L. Thompson, Lincoln, aka Tombstone, pushed Bruce off the building because he was pissed off this. You know what that means? That means that he, that means that Bruce has bad taste in animation.
Yeah.
This is the funniest thing ever. We need it. Wait, hold. Both Shades' reaction and his reaction to Shades were most amusing. Okay. I think, guys, we need to pull this as a clip, and I know exactly what Jordan needs to name it. It needs to be WTF is Gotham Knights Season 1 doing? Wait, did new Gotham Knights casting just spoil the whole show?
Yeah, did new Gotham Knights casting spoil the whole show? Yes, it did. Because what you just read there too about you might recognize the name in the comics, but there's some twist in the story. It's his wife, who's Talon. Ooh, big twist.
Where have I seen her before?
I recognize her. I don't know.
Lawrence Tamil. Also, I mean, the guy who's playing.
Oh my God. You two did Gotham Knights, what Pitch Meeting did to Thor Love and Thunder. You broke it. We broke it, guys. It's broken because they gave it away. Anyways, it's been an emotional episode, guys, especially this ending.
Oh
now.
my gosh, she's from that's Professor Slater from Community.
No idea.
Have you not watched Community?
No.
Okay, well, you were saying it's been an emotional show.
It's been an emotional show, guys, with Kevin Conroy's passing, talking about Wakanda Forever, honoring Chadwick, and this fucking horse shit here with this big spoiler for Gotham Knights. Now, the greatest show ever to come out next year is now spoiled, so sorry, guys. You can still watch it and hope for the best, but yeah, it definitely was a very different show this evening, but it was the only proper way we could do it. Obviously, we did have some fun towards the end, and we did have some lighter moments.
I think we needed some fun. I think we needed to be. Hey, Jordan. The father. I mean, Lincoln. He's kind of hot. Like I started going through his Insta. Like, yo, listen. The dude is hold on. This man is like, he's big. Like he big. Like them shoulders though.
But I hope you guys are doing well, and we will hopefully have a better week next week.
The what? Wait, I'm not dead.
No, he didn't make it for you. He made it. He wants to know. Well, he's on Twitter. You can direct him on mess. You can I don't know if you can direct message him. You can tweet at him on Twitter.
Wait,
with the link to your video.
Me or another Andy?
To you.
Okay, yeah, you can DM me, but if you're on Discord, Jake, you can DM me there. If you're in
my Discord,
in his Discord, look me up and just send it to me. Because I don't open my DMs. I'm sorry, I just don't do that. Especially not during Elon Musk's Twitter era.
Yeah, but we hope you guys are doing well, and we will see you guys hopefully with a better, a more enthusiastic and more normal show next week. I know for me, honestly, I'm not going to be getting over this news for Kevin for a while. It's going to stay with me, especially like I'm looking up right now. I got two Batman things right here. It's not his Batman, but it's still Batman. And that's what I grew up on, is his version. So it's gonna stay with me for a while, and it probably will never go away, because now I have lived past the time when he's no longer here, and it's strange to live in a world without him being so important in my life. And it's weird because he's not family, but he literally impacted all of our lives. If you grew up watching that show, or even if you saw the show, or even Mask the Phantasm, because someone that said they watched Mask the Phantasm for the first time a year ago, but it doesn't matter. As long as you got to experience that voice and experience his portrayal of the character, it's phenomenal. And unfortunately, he's not here to continue to. I think he still has stuff to come out. And there's something that came out today. I don't know if this is true, but apparently he's voicing Thomas Wayne in the Cape Crusader. I don't know if that's true, but that came out. I don't know if that's
real. Unless he, because I don't know if they've actually filmed or animated anything.
I don't know if they recorded dialogue or anything. I don't know what's true, but regardless, if he's in the show in some capacity or not, I bet there's stuff that he did record that hasn't come out yet. I don't know if it's Batman related, but who knows? But but
I will leave you all with this. Maybe what we could do is we could maybe potentially, maybe if depending on how our fall looks, maybe we could do like we did with Gotham. Like we could do a special show just to honor Kevin Conroy, and we can because this came today, so I don't think I don't think either of us was in the mind of just thinking about what are our favorite episodes or favorite portrayals of him and so on. So I think maybe we can do an episode for Kevin Conroy's Batman and kind of talk about some of our favorite performances of his in other Batman stuff later this fall. But if that's something guys would you be interested in, let us know in the comments. But yeah, thank you all so much for watching. I will throw up this. I think we should. I will end. We will end the stream with this image because this show is dedicated to Chadwick and Kevin. I hope everyone has a great weekend. If you haven't seen Wakanda Forever, but you still listen to us talking about it, I hope you go see it. It's a great movie. And we'll be back next week with episode 37 of Endless Multiverse. Take care, everybody.